Hello and welcome to the introduction video to this series of videos based on my book 40 Days with the Celtic Saints. There will be 42 videos in all in this series, this the introduction video, and then one for each of the 40 saints in the book, and then an extra one for the extra saint that's in the Welsh translation of the book. The videos will initially be released on the feast days of each of the saints, so we'll go through the year and the videos will be released. As this is the introduction video, I'd like to read part of the introduction from this book. Celtic is a term which has become quite common in modern parlance. It can be, as J.R.R. Tolkien said, a magic bag into which anything may be put and out of which almost anything can come. When speaking historically, it usually refers to the people groups who inhabited Britain, Ireland, and northwest France before and during the time of the Roman military occupation. The Celts were a community or clan-based society who were rural and close to nature and the rhythms of the land. In the Gallic Wars, written in the 1st century BCE by Julius Caesar, he states, "The whole of Gaul is divided into 3 parts. Of these, one is inhabited by the Belgi, the second by the Aquitani, and the third by a people called Celts in their own language, Gauls in ours." The term, however, does not seem to have been used much during or immediately following the Roman occupation. It is never mentioned by Bede, for example. Although it can be slightly ambiguous to readers today, it is a helpful term, as Oliver Davies explains in the book Celtic Spirituality. Celtic, he says, though potentially misleading, remains a useful term in its inclusivity, and is generally to be preferred to Irish, Welsh, or even insular, which, though entirely appropriate in many contexts, are too exclusivist. The use of the term Celtic does maintain the principle of an affinity of language, supporting some kind of affinity of culture between the Celtic-speaking areas, reinforced by extensive cultural contact based on close geographical proximity. So the term Celtic can be useful today to help identify a certain collection of peoples and tribes and kin. Even though there are, and there may have been, many differences in their specifics, there are enough similarities to enable us to see a connection which, if true for the people, would also follow when speaking of the Celtic Church. Although there were historically differences between the Irish, Pictish and British churches, again there are enough similarities to enable us to see a connection. As Thomas O'Loughlin says in Celtic Theology, in Ireland itself, Archbishop James Ussher, 16th to 17th century, was gathering and publishing materials. Whilst not using the words Celtic Church, he can be seen as putting the concept into circulation that in the early medieval period there were distinct churches in these islands, distinct from one another and from Rome. When it comes to Celtic Christianity, we are speaking of a distinct style and expression of the Christian faith which reflected the life and community of these Celtic people groups. Being close to nature and the rhythms of the land, they were also close to the Spirit of God within the surrounding creation, with little or sometimes no influence from the church and hierarchy that was growing out of the old Roman Empire. So I hope you enjoy this little series of videos. If you'd like to know more about any Celtic-based teaching than I do, please visit my website at waymarkministries.com.